Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday night as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Good afternoon, Internet. Welcome to That Silverline Show on Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim TK, joined by Cassisi Harris.
Woo!
And David Rios.
Hi there. Is it truly afternoon here?
I don't know, and I lost track of the day. Yeah, we were supposed to have a guest tonight, Mark Darden. Hopefully he responds to one of our emails or messages and clicks the link. If not, we'll improv today, and we'll just vamp as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to start vamping. I work today, for those of you who don't know. My day job for covering comics is I work as a chief marketing officer for a company, kind of moved up from being a copywriter. So if you get a language arts writing degree, that's a pretty good way of covering your nut with a day job. But we are firing a vendor today, and it's a phone vendor. And those of you who have dealt with phone vendors know that there is no amount of corporate bureaucracy that's too much for them. So I spent 90 minutes on the phone just to get a security pin and an e-sign document sent over, not even really accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vic, you're always the welcome on if we have nights like these. We'll give Mark a little bit of time to show up, but if he's not here, I'll shoot you a link over Discord. Since you are perhaps our most frequent regular and chatter, so we definitely appreciate you. Yeah. So that sums up my day. So I don't know how either of you guys ended. How was your day, David?
My day was good. You know, I work basically in continuous improvement, so
yeah,
just throwing events, making things better one day at a time.
Yeah.
And the pain that goes with that sometimes. But.
Yeah, I've had a very interesting day, just extremely busy. Some things that didn't go as well as planned, but you just work on it, try to do what you can to pull everything together, and try to come out on a positive note.
Sure.
But it did keep me pretty backed up, so I pretty much jumped off that job 15 minutes before the start of this. Tried to throw some food down in the 15 minutes and then jump on here.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been interesting last couple of days with the day job stuff. So
Sure. Okay.
but I did manage to go through and check up some of the stuff with for our do a little research on our subject tonight. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
So, yeah, I went through and I read through Guado Guy. The writing style, I love the sort of tongue-in-cheek captions throughout. So,
yeah, there was a lot of that.
Definitely interesting. Yeah.
yeah, all right. I'm also in the last week or so, I have started watching Shogun.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys started watching that. It's on FX and Hulu. And it's based off of the novel of the same name.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only remember the old show.
Okay.
Back in the 80s.
Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I never saw that. No.
It was very.
It was big.
It was very big at the time. It was very huge, and if I remember correctly, I didn't really see a lot of opportunities of it at rebroadcast or being able to watch it after over the time. It's one of those things, that kind of disappeared, like the movie adaptation of Hawaii, or trying to find reruns, rebroadcasts of China Beach. Some of those things that just kind of disappeared.
Right.
But I was bummed. We usually had it with my stepdaughter, and we went to watch it, and it's like, oh no! So we have to go through and resubscribe or do something on that because it's no longer available to us. Probably this whole the whole industry changing things around and sharing, family sharing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Biggs Beyond Tales of Crypt Cake. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I never saw the old Shogun show, but I read the book when I was in high school. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like the time separated from it, but the book felt a lot slower, a lot more plotting, but the show it feels like it's doing a lot of it's doing what it wanted House of the Dragon to do, which House of the Dragon did not do. The politicking is super good. I love the politicking, and anything that has Hiroyuki Sanada in it, the guy who plays Lord Toranaga, I'll watch anything with him. He's so good.
Oh yeah, his stuff, all across the board. I mean, he's very tries to be very authentic.
Yeah,
in the stuff that he does, and that's one of the things they're kind of boasting with this series, and part of the reason why I wanted to watch it, because he is one of the main reasons, but then also the authenticity. I mean, I love his stuff on a lot of things he did. I love his Mortal Kombat. I love his stuff in the Wolverine, and all the movies across that I've seen with him. I haven't seen anything that he's done that have been like, huh? Well,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was pretty bummed. We're like, okay, well, let's go watch this. And it's like, no.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, unfortunately, I just have subscriptions open to like everything all the time at this point, which
that's a problem for me. That's a problem because okay, we'll tangent this a lot, but whenever I moved into our house that we have here, um, we had so many things that were contracts, so many things that were,
Mhm.
you know, this and
Yeah.
that. You know, we had big expenditures, and one of the big things we had was, you know, FiOS bill, and
Yeah.
it was like, you know, phone for FiOS,
Yeah.
TV, all that stuff, all the boxes. It's like over $200 a month, and
Easily.
when we and that was without sports packages or any of those, you know, none of the premium channels and all that. That's just straight
Mhm.
across the board. So when I moved over here, I started to reevaluate a way that we did a lot of things. So, like one of the things I did was I transferred. They had a phone line that my wife's family had been using for 20 plus years, and that's known. You know, we don't get a lot of calls on it, but people know that they can reach us by that. So I did things like I transferred that from a landline to a cell line,
Mhm.
and then transferred that cell line into a Google number. So I spent $50 on a box that actually converts it over to the lines. Whenever I built the house, I went through and did, you know, networking across each room has 2 ports, and I basically converted everything over, including the line. So I still have the actual phone lines plugged in, but it's gone through digital, and it was a small thing to do the conversion to. I used T-Mobile at the time to convert to the number, so it was like a prepaid 1 month thing, and then a $20 fee to copy the number over.
Mhm.
But then it's pretty much been free ever since then. Um, and I did that with, you know, we kind of cut down a lot of streaming services and things like that. So Amazon is something that I use for the other things, but it's been, you know, Disney Plus. My wife loves, so you know, we did that initially when it was, you know, super cheap for 3 years, but it's really gotten very expensive, and all of
Yeah.
the other things. So if you sit there and you open up all the streams and all that stuff, you're pretty much headed back to that $200
Yeah. The
a
old cable
month.
bill.
It's easy to do that, and
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So
Yeah. I tried to get everything I can in a bundle because of that. So I got the old day one Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle, and I just have not unsubscribed. So I've been grandfathered in every time they upgraded the pricing.
well, yeah, I've been doing, you know, I did that too on the first 3 years. But
Yeah.
then now in this one here, it's like, okay, well, the price is staying the same, but now commercials are thrown in, and it's like,
Yeah. I know. I mean, part of my day job working in advertising, I don't mind ads as much, but also I mean, it gives me scheduled like breaks to grab some water or pee. So
hmm. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like, okay, well, now you're paying the same, or you might be paying $1 or two more, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden it's like all the ones are, you know, Amazon is now doing, you know, commercials, and Disney Plus is, and
yeah,
it's just like, I don't know. I'm just, I don't mind. I don't per se mind the commercials, but it's like all of a sudden you're paying the same exact thing, and they just decided to inject commercials in.
yeah,
Or you can get it without commercials and pay,
A
you know,
little more.
$8
yeah.
more or some ridiculous amount. So
I feel like because of things like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, we've had so much budget bloat from television studios. They got to the point where we hit the tipping point, and TV like only ever lost money because the budget on these shows was getting into like film areas. But either on a subscription or an ad basis, you don't make enough to make that back. So you'd have to do something both, like what
Yeah.
HBO was there at the end of its lifespan before it became Max.
Yeah, that's the thing too. You got a lot of, a lot of content being cut back too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the stuff on Disney Plus. We want to concentrate more on quality series, and then it's like, okay, well, we have a series coming out, and oh, by the way, this series, The Acolyte, for example, is going to be pretty much the shortest episode run times.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Short run times is kind of where I also get a little like, meh, I don't like that as much. But I'm okay with the short series. Like, I'm good with like a 10 or 12 episode season. I'm not sure I can handle 34 episodes of NCIS in a season again. I feel like that's at that point, I'm like, I don't know if I have enough time to commit to a TV show like that. But,
I was going to ask, do you guys find that you're even consuming like, how would I say this? Consuming like mainstream content as much anymore? I can't even, it's very difficult for me to want to do it. Now, The Acolyte I'm interested in because I am a fight scene connoisseur. And when I saw little trailer, I was like, oh, this would be interesting. I've always wanted to see them push the envelope as far as Jedi and Force and Sith fighting. So we'll see, if that can deliver. But I find that I subscribe to several things and I don't even use them as much as I would use something like YouTube. And that's really weird. I think my consumer habit has changed to stuff that is not, I mean, it's scripted too, but not as scripted as
right. I do watch a lot of YouTube and Twitch, but mostly some like gaming content. I still love Game Grumps, but mostly like I watch a lot of like art and skill based things. A lot of like painting tutorials, drawing tutorials, writing studies, stuff like that.
So then, do you find that your subscriptions are worth it if your consumer habit has changed?
Well, those don't make up the majority of my viewing. Majority of my viewing is still like I watch a lot of like anime and Crunchyroll, so like I'm up to date on Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling. I'm slowly catching up on Demon Slayer.
You haven't watched it all yet?
I have not. I just got to the Masked Swordsman in the Demon House.
Oh, no.
I'm baby on that. I was too busy catching up. I was too busy on my 5th rewatch of Bleach and going into 1,000 Year Blood War. 1,000 Year Blood War got announced, and then like 3 years from the day, I'm like, okay, I got to rewatch all Bleach now. I got to do that.
Okay.
With me, it's like I have a hard time being able to just sit down and just watch stuff on it. It's like I go through and like right now I'm trying to go through the X-Men, the animated series.
I gotta watch
to get prepped for that.
For 97.
I watched them all. It's just been so long, but it's like, I'll go through and I can get like a couple episodes here and then I gotta go do something else, whether it's work or whatever. It's like, fitting in, just sitting there and those days of, binging, full seasons or something where you spend 8 hours. I don't have enough time in my life to do something like that. So
because of the time constraint, this is going to sound like the most entitled, pompous thing ever, but I found that I've had to be really intentional with my watch time. Like, I'd be like, okay, this Saturday I have the afternoon free. I'm going to watch 5 hours of show. No one can talk to me.
It's so weird. It's so weird that we're that way now, right? Because remember the days where you had to wait. Like, you just had to wait. Like, there was no binge watching. You just had to wait for the show to come on when I was young.
And then it's appointment television. Like even then we got like DVR as appointment like the next day. Like I remember like for us, our appointment television was the Late Show with Craig Ferguson and 24, a couple of things like that. And so we'd all DVR, and then the next night was when we go through and watch it all together.
Tim, have you? Vic has a question.
Yeah, Vic has said, Vic said to watch too many shitty horror movies. I mean, that's also like great. I love a good shitty horror movie. We're going off the ratings tonight. We don't have a guest or off the rails. Tonight's episode is rated PG-13. Vic, yeah, our guest has not said anything to Roland or myself. So I sent you an invite over Discord. So if you want to hop on here for the next 40 minutes, Vic, we're probably going to be talking about media.
Good horror movie. Good bad horror movie.
Good bad horror movie.
Oh. Elves. Oh, it's so great.
I'm
Oh,
not familiar.
watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to give it. I don't want to say anything. Just just know that it's horrible.
Okay.
Horrible going in, and that's what makes it.
So are these like Christmas elves or mythological elves?
Okay.
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 Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. I love it. So I love Krampus is so good because of that too.
And the Christmas Virgin. Okay, just watch it. Just watch it. It's great. Oh.
I love it. Can you do Instagram? Potentially.
It has the guy who what's the guy who played is it Smokey the wait. Oh man. Smokey the Bear? Is that the no, what is gosh, I okay, let me look at the guys. Because you'll know this guy. And he must have been down on his luck when he did this and just needed money. Yeah.
This just reminds me, listening to CC trying to find the guy. It's like reminds me of the Married with Children episode. Meet the guy who met Andy Griffith.
Oh,
yes. It's like not even Andy Griffith, the guy who met Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, it's the murderer, and we can't, lock him up because we lose 2 attractions. But
right. This is the last good crappy horror movie that I've watched. Trying to think. The last it was a good crappy slasher movie. It wasn't like it's a Grinder House movie. It's not a horror movie, but the Belko Experiment.
Oh, I've never seen that. Yeah.
Okay, it's a Grinder House movie that it's like very much like low budget, one location, bunch of people in a house, and they all die. But it's essentially like a remote work office in South America, where like the company will send all their employees that to work on a project remotely to save costs. One day the facility gets locked down, and they get an announcement saying half of you half of you live, half of you die. Those who live get to walk away. And
that sounds like the employee reduction facility. Let's just send those people to
It's a layoff with more steps.
That's where you go to save the budget. Spend a little bit. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
And we are joined by Vic Du. Our Mark Darden has not responded, so hopefully he's doing well. Hopefully nothing's wrong. So our special guest tonight is Vic, Silverline alumni from the chat.
Welcome, Vic.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about part of what we've been talking about, which is just media, which is important because as a creative, you need to ingest media to put out media because everything is pastiche, nothing is original.
You're worthless.
Yeah.
Nothing you do matters. Give up.
Dan Haggerty. Do you remember who Dan Haggerty is?
Yep.
That's familiar.
That's who's in Elves. As soon as you see his picture, you'll know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was.
I know.
Why am I blanking? I'm just blanking.
You know him.
Yeah, he blonde, big beard.
Big guy.
Yeah, he was.
Grizzly Adams. Was that what he?
Yeah.
Grizzly Adams. Yeah, but oh gosh, watch it though. You guys won't regret that. There's so horrible ones. Oh, is that a good horror movie? That and Birdemic. All of you have seen Birdemic. Though.
Yes.
Oh, it's cold, man.
Birdemic is one of those things that like you watch as like part of your Sharknado marathon.
But see, you know what? I couldn't get through Sharknado. I couldn't.
Really?
I watched a little bit. Now, I think I watched Birdemic first though, and that's probably why I should have watched Sharknado first, and then it could sink lower, right? And Birdemic is the lower.
Well, when you get to Sharknado 2, it really elevates the franchise still.
And I think I did that too. When I saw the sequel, I was watching the sequel of Sharknado, and I was like, okay, this is This is like
What is-
high budget bad, right? As opposed to they paid $14 to make the movie, which is the great
Oh,
stuff.
there you go. Last crappy horror movie I watched of The Meg.
The Meg.
Oh, is that good though?
I mean, it has
That's-
Jason Statham knife fighting a giant shark, so
Yeah. But that's high budget though, right?
it is.
Like, does that qualify as a bad? You know, I would think a bad movie is like.
I mean, the direction and the script were not there, so
Listen,
But they did make a sequel.
they did. But that movie was really carried by Jason Statham knife fighting the sharks.
Knife fighting the shark.
who doesn't knife fight a shark every now and then, man?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look. He really knife fights the shark.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's gonna have to get watched.
Yeah.
Just for that, yeah.
Why do I picture Tommy right now going, oh my god?
Yes.
Tommy's
Yeah.
just thinking about doing it, and you know it.
Tommy. I mean, Tommy's cycling habits. He has the cardio to go with the shark. I imagine. Like, but no, like the last 30 minutes of the movie, it just really turns into an anime out of nowhere.
Well, there is a movie that is like Children of the Corn, but it's sharks in the corn. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, that's one. That's horrible. And then there's also a llama. Oh, yeah. You might. That's actually a fun bad movie watch. A llama that is killing everybody, with laser eyes and stuff. It's pretty. It's
Sharks of the Corn has 1.9 on IMDb. Let's go.
Yeah. It's where it's you got to kind of power through the first 15 minutes and then just lose yourself and you'll be okay. Yeah.
Is that kind of like watching Breaking Bad where you got to kind of power through the first season?
No, because that there was quality writing in it though. This is just pure. You got to spend all. You can't make sense of it. You just have to go. This is meant to be this bad and embrace. Like
you need to be elevated. That's what he said.
It's good inebriated watch.
Yeah.
Elevated.
Elevated, not inebriated, elevated.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like drinking and watching that's not working.
It's a. I don't want to spoil anything. You just have to. You have to.
I mean, I pulled up the IMDb page and I got the trailer here, and we're already sailing.
Yeah, it's a. Someone thought of it, and that's the.
I feel like this is shot like on an iPhone 4.
I don't think it was. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like
It's a distinct possibility.
It has that anti-aliasing, and we're like, this isn't quite 1080p.
Exactly. And you know what? As it goes along, it probably switches quality. But yeah, it's a yeah. If you ever want horrible movies, I've watched many recently. It's so good. Santa and the Christmas Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing though.
All of the Evil Bong movies. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Evil Bond. You say Evil Bond movies?
Bong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's an Evil Christmas Tree movie too.
There are 7.
Oh, are they? Oh, really?
Oh, that's Tommy Chong in there. That makes sense.
Would you say?
There's Tommy Chong in there. That makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, Tommy Chong was involved?
In Evil Bong, yeah.
Oh.
Does that surprise you?
I think everything that makes the most sense.
It makes sense, but I'll remember those movies too well.
Well, what's your favorite good horror movie though? And good is subjective, but what's your I mean, I'm not a horror movie fan, but I do have
Jeepers Creepers.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Just the first one though.
Oh, what's it called?
The second one was mid, yeah.
See, I guess it depends on what you call horror, but yeah, for me it's Midsummer. I can't.
Midsummer, yeah.
Yeah. I was so pissed off after I watched it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, "That's the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
After you watched it, you determined it was the greatest thing.
No, it really it took a while. Like I was actually pissed off, and I was like, "What did I just watch?"
He
And
had
then
to contemplate everything.
yeah, and then I thought about it, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was pretty. That's yeah." I know you liked it too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I just finished up a redesign of an old Centaur character.
A
Nice.
centaur?
Yeah, like the protectors,
Mhm.
the shark. Trying to make him not just like a pasty white guy in a speedo and a domino mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like well, the one ended up becoming my favorite franchise because I love how much it derails it. But Alien is kind of like my favorite horror franchise in general, and I do include the derailment that happens in 3 and onward.
3 does not count. I mean, we just don't even you don't acknowledge 3. That's like a don't acknowledge.
Yeah,
You barely acknowledge 4. Barely.
Resurrection was. I mean, they're definitely like it's. I mean, it derails hard, but I don't. I like the universe it built. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll take anything in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But actually, I mean, it's kind of a niche one, but the one that sticks with me the most is Dark Skies.
That's all. I never really. I know I watched it, when it came out back in the day, but I never really got into it. It did really put that like dark, like I mean, it was always nighttime in the movie, wasn't it?
It's either nighttime or overcast, but yeah, I mean, when I got out because I went to the theater during the day and we got out at night, and I immediately got a shiver in my spine, like, okay, that movie worked. The movie did its job.
Yeah. I mean, old movies. The Wicker Man is another one that I can't. It was too
Oh yeah.
me. I couldn't. Any of the ones where the hero just gets it so bad in the
You
end.
guys ever seen The Flying Serpent?
Mm-mm.
I'm not.
No.
It's not good, but it's not bad.
Okay.
It just sort of exists and haunts my nightmares.
Sure.
Like from 1940, like the old Flying Serpent.
Yeah. Just because of how sad the production is. I feel bad for the creature because of how crappily it was like paper mache together. Look at that poor
What
thing.
makes it gold? That's what makes it great. Oh, that's what makes it good. That's good stuff.
Oh man. It's like Ring of Fire. It hits differently watching it when you're younger and watching it now.
Actually, that movie, I'm so disappointed. That movie had so much potential. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, it did. I don't know if it was like the timing, because I think Matthew McConaughey did a great job. I didn't like Christian Bale's character, but I thought he did a good job. Maybe it
Yeah.
was just the. I mean, what did that come out with? Maybe it was just dwarfed by what it came out with, but um,
2002.
I don't know what it was competing against.
That's I'm going to IMDb. We have technology. see. It's competing against Signs and K-19.
Okay, yeah,
Those two right there.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, like Mike, a classic, truly.
Yeah, but that's a shame that movie didn't do well.
Yeah.
Because the dragon. I guess I watched this little, documentary about how them doing the dragon and that influenced other dragons in movies going forward.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, Rain of Fire was good. But you wouldn't classify that as horror, would you? That's like a
No, it's like science
science,
fiction, science fantasy. Yeah.
yeah, post-apocalyptic science fantasy.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
I've been finding so many weird horror anthologies lately. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them out there. I mean,
There's
The Charleston ones are beautiful and awful.
beautifully off.
Some of them, when you get Ditko in there, you get the most beautiful story you've ever seen. And then they'll end up throwing a competent artist like Son Ho Kim, who's just not good for this at all.
Mm.
Because it was just about keeping the presses running.
right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. So
Yeah, that's Marvel's 98 runs.
What?
Just Marvel's 98 runs just 32 presses running. This is kind of tangent on the horror movies, but have you guys seen The Void?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's super weird Lovecraftian horror. It was on Netflix. I think it moved off now, but weird. Like it very much gives like Event Horizon vibes, but mixed with like modern, like in a modern American setting. But also like the bad guy is geometry, which I love.
The bad guy is geometry.
Yeah,
What?
like the portals that the cult use all have like different shapes and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
kind of yeah.
Man. Wait. Never mind.
Because it's gory. It's a gore kind of movie.
It's super gory. It's like kind of the same way of like there's like same thing as like Event Horizon where they end up becoming like these weird flesh demons in the portal. Like there's a bunch of flesh monsters and stuff like that. Yeah.
They call it a Canadian Lovecraftian horror film.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Canadian Lovecraftian horror film.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. There's a point in gore though where I just can't. It's hard to digest the movie.
Right.
Like I can't what's it called? What it Turistas? Is that a movie Turistas? Or is it it's Hostel, right?
Hostel, yes.
Okay.
Oh, that was a weird.
I couldn't
Weird
I
freaking movie.
see the Hostels because it was like, well, a woman in a bathtub with a scythe just cutting up a person over. I can't.
Right. I feel like there's like a weird middle point where like there's like not a whole lot of gore is great, but also I love gratuitous violence, like the point where it's comedic. But I feel like there's a middle point where it's just enough. They're like, I don't like this. This is unsettling.
See, when I think comedic gore, I think the story of Ricky O. Have you ever seen?
Yes.
Right. So that's comedic gore. Like, there's no way.
Well, like that. The Walking Dead movies.
Are they? Did they
The
make
Walking Dead.
Night of the Living Dead?
Bruce Campbell. Crap, what's it called? Evil Dead.
Evil
Evil
Dead.
Dead,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Army of Darkness, Evil
Army of
Dead.
Darkness,
those
yeah.
ones, yeah.
What was the other one that? Willy's Wonderland. Have you seen that?
No, I've never even heard of that. Willy's Wonderland.
It's a parody of Five Nights at Freddy's, starring Nicolas Cage as a silent
Oh,
protagonist.
I have heard of that one. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Brains?
Sorry, was that Vic?
But it.
You guys ever seen Brain Scan?
Brain Scan? Yes.
Mm-mm.
Scanners? Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain why, but I love it.
I mean, Scanners. It straight up has a scene where a guy's head just explodes like a watermelon.
Oh wow.
Are we
Yeah.
talking about the same Brain Scan?
Well, there's Brain. Was it?
Like 1994 brain scan, like old horror sci-fi brain scan.
Like the
Okay.
video game. The
Oh yeah, I guess that's what it is. Looking at the trailer on.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of Scanners. Yeah.
Scanners.
Yeah. That's a movie.
but you get the one part I didn't like is they really had like a cop out at the end.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the whole movie was in the game.
Yeah, you know.
And then he has like a bunch of personal life crap, and
Yeah.
the ending's too happy. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm hoping they don't do something like that because I haven't read the manhwa, but I'm hoping they don't do a solo leveling because solo leveling is set up to be like, oh no, this is a game that's happening in real life. I want them to be like do something super. Gilmore just all the states nanomachines. I don't know.
I still haven't watched Solo Leveling. I can't. Yeah, I'm having a hard time jumping into a whole bunch of new stuff.
Sure.
Like I kind of want to see some of the old stuff finish. So
Yeah.
It's hard to jump into. You know, and the way that I get attracted to new stuff is by watching a fight.
Yeah.
And for Solo Leveling, so far, I have not seen a fight that kind of makes me go, "Oh, I gotta watch." You know how that comes about.
Okay. You haven't seen the clip from the serpent fight?
Is that the first big fight? No.
No, it's one of. But
No.
the American voice actor screamed so much during that fight that he ended up coughing up blood.
I think I have seen that. I think I have seen that one. I saw that one, and I saw the one where he's fighting like 3 guys or something like that, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna say powering up, like he goes through this, whatever the transition for him is, and he just kills them. So it's kind of like, I don't know. But you got to save the budget for the big fights anyway. So I'm sure once it hits like a very peak fight, it will interest me. But
what got me, like when the serpent fights, they did the Studio Mappa, and they did, or not, it's not Mappa, but they did the Mappa thing where they essentially just did one-to-one references from panels from the manga or the manhwa, where they just end up inking in and animating those panels together.
So you did read the manhwa then? So
I have not, but I had to go back and confirm that was what was happening. Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I love Sick because they did that in Jujutsu Kaisen a couple times, especially the last big fight where, like midway through the Shibuya incident, they did that a couple times.
I think the only anime I've really been watching have been this knockoff Yu-Gi-Oh! From like 2007.
Yo.
Do you remember what it's called?
I think it's literally just Duel Masters.
Duel Masters, nice.
I don't watch anime.
Okay.
It don't feel right. It don't look right.
Also, you don't like the art style. You don't like the art style of it at all?
I can tolerate it sometimes, but not my thing.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the reason why I like anime is the same reason why I like the comics as well as parts of video games. It's just like the storytelling elements where if you get a balls to the wall creative team, like this is just going to escalate into like obscene levels of absurdity.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean, good anime can do like,
yeah. I mean, like the comics terms, like you look at Marvel stuff, like stuff with Hyperion, when they give Hyperion like an enemy you can actually like stand toe to toe with them, and like this puts every Avengers level threat to bed.
Yeah, I mean, anime suffers though. The power scaling in anime is kind of.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I think JJK stuck around so well is because it got the power scaling so right, where you see like the absurd levels, but then also see when those absurd levels fight down. There was no plot armor.
Yeah, flat armor and gosh, power creep is so ridiculous. I mean, it's what's awesome, but that's what makes it peak out. Like you're like, dude, you can just destroy the universe 17 times. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't draw you in anymore after the protagonist goes through his training montage and gets like the big level up.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of stuff, so no one else watched X-Men '97 yet?
No, I saw the Cyclops landing thing and I gotta watch it. I have not watched it.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I was like, yeah, I gotta get up on it.
Yeah, no, speaking of getting powers just right, they finally did my boy Cyclops some justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Screw Cyclops.
I just wanted to just go and make sure that I caught up on everything else.
Yeah.
Just refresher. It's been years. I hadn't even thought about it.
Right.
The only 90s X-Men portion, I watched the whole thing, but the only one that I can remember is that whole Dark Phoenix saga. That's the only thing I can that's in my head, though, from the 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember any of the other episodes except that.
Yeah.
I remember the cartoon so vividly because I was poor. I'm still poor, so I would always get the free VHS tapes that they had at the video store.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that was like actually interesting because I didn't want to watch like Kimbo the White Lion or whatever.
Right, yeah. Right, that's fair. It's
It's funny because Kimbo the White Lion was my brother's favorite cartoon, but he grew up in the 60s. So.
Really? I was gonna say he actually knew the cartoon though? The actual like during the time he knew of that cartoon. Oh, that's pretty impressive.
I hate Kimbo the White Lion so much.
Yeah. You're like Vic, you're like the first person to ever bring it up outside of saying that the Lion King kind of stole from it. I've never heard anybody like reference that. Yeah.
I've heard that before. I heard that, and I've seen side by sides, and yeah.
It's Disney, a company founded by a. I'm gonna redact my statement. Never mind.
A company that's whole thing is taking other properties and doing their own thing with it.
I was more referencing Walt Disney's feeling towards certain groups, but that too.
I would love to see, man, we'll see how X-Men 97 does. I would like to see, action cartoons kind of, outside of anime.
Yeah.
Make a comeback. Man. But I guess the audience isn't there for it anymore. I guess the audience that it would kind of.
I think the audience has kind of grown up, but I mean, I say get kids used to violence early. All right.
Listen.
But the violence in no one ever. I mean, Duke died. No, He came back. So I don't think anybody ever really. Well, Optimus, I cried. No,
Optimus Prime. I mean, the X-Men cartoon did, and spoilers, Dave. I don't know if you remember this, but the X-Men cartoon did. The final season did start with Xavier getting shot by the CIA.
Oh man,
Fair
now you
enough.
missed. Now you ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the thing.
No. Well, that was the thing, though. Is Duke was supposed to die in the G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, but they brought him back though. He was good at the end.
No, but they didn't do it because it traumatized. Because Transformers traumatized so many kids.
Yeah,
that they just they.
And then when they rebooted the cartoon, they're like, "Oh, we can get a little gritty with it." So they killed Duke in every episode and brought him back the next episode after.
You killed Duke.
Oh my gosh! But you know what? Did that have the same impact though? In the movie theater, you could hear the kids cry. I was one of them, but you could hear us cry in the movie theater when Optimus died. I don't know that I cried when Duke died. I just kind of went like, "Oh man!" Like I don't think that
Yeah.
the same. It didn't hit the same, right? Like I hated Hot Rod. I couldn't stand him. I thought he killed Optimus. I remember vividly hating him. Like you didn't even have to interfere. He was killing Megatron. What are you doing? And I remember feeling that way at 7. That's so sad. So sad.
I didn't mind Hot Rod. I just didn't think that the whole Rodimus Prime was a good direction to go to try and replace. But it's toy driven thing, that was it. Let's clean the shelves and throw the new ones on.
Yeah.
But it at the same time it lost that whole thing that made the Transformers cool is because they looked like real cars and like that. And then and then now it's like they're in 2005, 2006.
But I mean, what was he? He was like an
Future.
RV. What was Rodimus Prime? He was like a.
There is, if you search it, there is a vehicle that they based it off of that was like a prototype vehicle, and it was ugly as can be.
It was. Like
it didn't have that Corvette look that they tried to do for Hot Rod and just kind of carry that mold over.
I understand.
It looked kind of like a platypus.
It doesn't look good at all.
A platypus.
Doesn't it kind of look like a platypus?
It's horrible.
I'm not looking up a car that looks like a platypus.
No, it's just the front end is really wide, like you kind of like the beak. I like the front end.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
But that's what they kind of based it on. It was bad.
Yeah, the picture is called "What the heck is Rodimus Prime?" And it has like this ugly. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
There needs to be a return.
It makes
action cartoons.
It makes the Wiener Schnitzel vehicle, the hot dog thing, look good.
Oh
yeah. I mean, there needs to be a return, though. I mean, I guess anime is it, because when you think about impactful, like Transformers, Thundercats, they were all copies of each other. Silverhawks.
We had You had Thundercats, Silverhawks, and then the Aqua, underwater one.
It's sharks. It's like gosh, I know these.
They even turned Ben 10 into
Tiger Sharks.
Yep. What'd you say, Vic?
They even turned Ben 10 into one of those like Teen Titans Go fart joke shows.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a good conversation. As we shift, what about the remakes? You've got, for me, like for example, I love Teen Titans, and I didn't like as much the Teen Titans Go stuff. But then you've got shows like the original He-Man, but then you have the remake, which I think the animation was better.
Yeah.
The 2003 remake, I remember.
And then you've got more of the anime style of the Thundercats.
Yeah.
You know, stuff
Well, they
like
tried to
that.
do it with Transformers too, though, didn't they? Make an anime kind of version of. Um,
Well, yeah, they made a whole bunch of different versions.
They did it with Sonic, man.
oh, did they really?
Sonic X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah. Even the original like 1980s cartoon was it's. I just looked up. It was produced by a Japanese studio.
Oh, the Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think all of them were, weren't they? Like
It's pretty
Thundercats,
much, yeah.
Transformers. Yeah, like they all were.
Well, Transformers, there's a
Cheap
whole
labor.
season after that. It kind of continues where the American cartoon stopped, and it didn't go into that whole stupid 3D animated Power Master Optimus, basically just introducing rebroadcasts of the earlier seasons. It was a whole big thing, and it's supposed to be pretty nice. So
Probably got pretty dark. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
well, that's where you got stuff like Scorponok and Black Zarek and stuff like that. It was all from that stuff. So
Yeah, see, I don't know. When I think Robotech, I didn't think a kids show. Is that really? I don't think of Robotech as a kids show.
It definitely like got deep into like the horrors of war. So like as ones like you watch it with your kids because like they're like, oh, giant flying robots, but then you're just like, this is a metaphor for Vietnam.
Do you guys want to see the worst knockoff anime you have ever seen?
Oh, absolutely.
I introduced to you my Dog Soldier VHS tape.
Dog Soldier. What is that?
This is
Ram.
Anime Rambo.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. Didn't they have a? I remember Rambo had a cartoon though, didn't he?
yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure he had one.
Why?
Because it was big. It was big. I mean,
the kids crave violence.
My munchies are big.
That is kind of weird when you think about it today. All the bloodshed in Rambo, like, man, we turned that into a cartoon.
Yeah, this is definitely like a film like the statement saying like violence is too prevalent, like the military industrial complex ruins people. Like,
Violence is
like
too
propaganda
prevalent.
for the military.
That is crazy.
Violence is only okay if it's for the military.
I don't know.
Still oil.
Well, back on the Robotech stuff.
I'm sorry
like
about that.
how many of you guys loved the Macross stuff? Didn't really care for the Masters, but then I love the Mespita stuff. So
Well, I don't know if I know the Mespita stuff.
that was the third series, the new generation with the motorcycles and that.
I liked
and the Invid.
I kind of like all of it. The only thing that didn't get was like the new thing where they had the stuff powered by music, or like the pop stars.
Oh, Macross 2 or whatever.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah,
but I liked the one like MASH style military drama they had where it was just the testing facility.
Or are you talking about the Macross Plus?
Yeah.
Macross Plus was the one that had Sharon Apple, the supercomputer, and it had the two test pilots that were basically out to kill each other.
Yeah, I liked that one. I loved
that one.
I saw that one. They did that, and they also broke it up as I can't remember if it was like just that movie broken up, or if they did a later version of that they did as an anime show that they ran on Sci-Fi Channel.
It was 4 episodes, and then they did a movie where they condensed the stuff together.
Yeah, I saw the 4 episodes when they reran those on Sci-Fi.
I actually have the soundtrack to that by Yoko Kanno.
Okay, nice.
That is really nice to just like if you're having a day where you just want to check out. I've thrown my headphones on, cranked that up, and turned the lights out in the room, and it's a good soundtrack to do that with.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear some exciting news work-wise for me?
Sure, go for it.
my first published work is gonna be inked within the next few days.
Nice. That's exciting.
Bravo.
Yep. By Thomas Adler and Sal Trapini's Minty.
Nice.
That's dope.
Very
Congratulations,
cool.
man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's only taken 3 years.
Oh, okay. The one that I going could not send was Macross 7.
Okay, Macross 7. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. That's super weird. Okay.
I'm gonna have to look up this Macross 2 thing. They were powered by singers. That makes me so upset.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it!
Well, I think the
You know-
Macross 2 was the comic
Yeah.
version of it. So it's
Yeah,
Macross 7 that he's talking. Yeah, that's the one he's talking about.
But I mean,
yeah.
the main power set to control the mech was music,
I heard this
You-
particular one. Yeah, it was,
or was that just their profession and they controlled mechs?
What
Oh.
kind of gem in the holograms?
exactly. He's a musician who then ended up like finding like the weirdest like Gundam G fighter logic, and that the ship responded to him playing music.
Dang it! This is upsetting to me. Gosh. I'm gonna
Is this kind of similar to G Gundam, where they're doing the workout inside
Exactly.
to control it?
But at least with G Gundam, you had like them like doing actual martial arts. It is still super weird logic that kind of doesn't make any sense given the context. But I mean, we're here for it because you got Burning Fingers Gundam, which is just a dope design.
I gotta pick up Iron
Burning
Blooded
Gundam.
Orphans again. Even though I get told it's the worst of all the Gundam series.
Which one was that?
Iron Blooded Orphans.
I don't say it's the worst. Honestly, I like any of the build try. I definitely put below. For a reason, the build try Gundams do really well in Japan, but I think they're just kind of weird. They kind of lose the point. But Iron Blooded Orphans, I think they really well. I think they did really well because essentially it was just an adaptation of Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms told through the lens of giant robots.
And isn't that what we should all strive for in life?
Exactly. Yeah.
Telling Hemingway stories with giant robots.
Yes.
Oh man, gosh.
He's just looking at Macross 7 and raging.
I am. I absolutely am. That's depressing.
I'm just thinking about doing an adaptation of a Hemingway story with giant robots now.
As you should.
It's gonna be awful.
Oh no.
I don't have nuance.
Well, I mean, if you just get your allegory so on the nose, you kind of look back into nuance. So he's got to be so blatant with it that people think it's not blatant.
What?
It's got to be so blatant with it, like so on the nose with the word allegory that people think it's not on the nose.
That's depressing.
Oh.
I'm gonna do it better. It's okay. I'm gonna do it better.
I'm going to do better.
We gotta make it for the autistic people.
Represent.
Yeah. I'm diagnosed.
I got my diagnosis later in life, which is like a weird trip. This makes so much sense.
I got mine at 5. And
Okay.
yeah. Wait, no, 6. They had suspicions at 5.
Okay. See, I would have liked that because then, like, you'd have like my youth to develop coping skills, right? Not being like 27. Like, by the way, sir,
By the way.
if you're wondering why this happens,
Yeah, my coping skills are concerning.
I mean, at least you're present. Okay.
I'm not present right now.
That's fair. Well, on that note, we've been here for an hour. I'm not sure what happened to Mark, but again, we hope he's safe and well. We'll see if we can't slot him into a Silverline show in the near future. We'll be back next week. Our schedule might be a little messed up. So if we don't have Mark next week, we will be talking about every time the Easter Bunny was in the comic, because it's going to be Easter weekend. So we'll be talking about the various power levels of the Easter Bunny. Thank you for joining us, Vic. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Again, if you are new to the Silverline family, the podcast, Vic has been one of the longest standing members of the community. Is also a artist and breaking into the comic industry. Getting his first work inked, so that's going to be exciting. Make sure to check out Wednesday Wham and Silver Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on those respective days. And until next time, remember to...
Oh, got it.
There it is.
There it is.
Make mine Silverline.
Silverline. Ooh, oh, there it is. Kinda.
Hi, my name is Paul Kupperberg. Make mine Silverline.